You're still an admin of the pool, aren't you? Yeah, I got the same problem. New South Wales Australian 10-ball championships. Annette, Clifford, do you have anything to say?
Yeah, I'm still scratching my head, wondering how I've made it to the final.
Can't work it out?
No, not at all.
Oh, well, that should hold you in good stead then for this match. So you got to beat it twice?
Yes, that's right. That's doable.
Oh, easy.
Yeah, no problem.
Just beat it. No. Just beat it the second time first.
Okay, that's all right. I'll take your advice on board. Am I allowed to tackle her?
Yeah, no worries. Full contact. And I'd like to welcome Fleur Williamson into the commentary box. How are you today, Fleur?
I am not too bad, considering I'm still licking my wounds from my last match against Annette. But I can only blame myself. Had a lot of scratches.
Well, and Annette.
Yeah, she helped. Comments. We've got any comments? No? Yeah, it's over on the side.
Yeah, in case someone says something.
Yep. Looks like Annette has snookered herself here. She's going to go for the jump shot. And she doesn't quite make it over. It is tricky when the white ball's close to that object ball. You've really got to give it some height. I haven't had a chance to watch Annie play today, but she must be playing quite well. She defeated Annette earlier today. So Annette's looking to get a little bit of revenge, but she's going to have to play well, and she's going to have to do it twice. Bit of safety play there.
Yeah, so Annette just going for distance there, or trying to get that 4 behind the 10?
I'm not quite sure of what she intended, but not. The distance looked like it was enough.
Yeah, that's definitely worked out for her. Yeah, so obviously you've just come off this table.
It's a pretty generous table. The pockets are pretty big.
For in-offs.
Yes, exactly.
Very big for white balls. This used to be the easiest table in Australia.
Really?
But it's become a little bit difficult just because the pockets are big, but now there's a couple of rolls on it, so you can't really play many soft shots and have...
See, I could have sworn there was a roll on that last shot I played in the earlier match.
It just makes it, because it's so quick and you've got to play everything soft, it's made this table really tricky. because now you can't afford to play it soft, or if you have to play it soft, you've got to know which way it's rolling.
Makes sense.
Okay, well, Annie's just missed that. It's the same pocket, not same ball, but same shape, and she's overcut it twice now. I doubt it's because she doesn't know the potting angle. Maybe that she's not actually focused on the point of the ball that she wants to hit.
It can be a little bit hard coming into the final on the winner's side because you usually have a long wait between your semi-final and your final.
Yeah, it's usually a massive gap, and that's supposedly to your advantage, but it never works out that way, does it?
No, I think the constant play works to your advantage rather than sitting around getting cold.
Yeah, and everyone gives you their opinion on what you did or what you should do, and by the time you get to the final, you're playing someone who knows exactly what they want to do because they've just been playing all day. I think she can overcut this and avoid the in-off, or do you think she'll have to screw off it?
Yeah, she'll need to screw off it, I think. That worked well. An easy 8 to get on the 10. Really needed to just dribble that in. She played it too sweet to let that ball roll.
If you're in that situation, you're better off just going too far and coming back rather than trying to hold it.
Oh, good double.
Great double. That was a tough double. Yeah, they're tough when they're that close to work out and make sure you get the wide out of the way. There's a lot going on there. Yeah, so that the 10 just missed the white. So yeah, that was a very well executed double.
Break. The one's right over the pocket and everything is open. It's just a matter of navigating.
A bit surprised when Annette misses.
Yeah.
Like she's got that really good stance and I was just looking at her face then. I mean, she was determined as to buy that ball.
Has a great concentration face.
Yeah, I was just expecting that to go in no worries because she had pretty good shape there to get on the three. This, on the other hand, is going to be a little bit tricky. I mean, she's got a little bit of an off angle. She can run through actually to get on this 4. So just a bit of top spin. But she's definitely got the angle there off this white. So, well, actually, no, that's dead straight. What am I talking about? She's going to have to stop this white. And I think the double on the 4 is on, and Annie does love her doubles.
Seen a lot of doubles played today. I think maybe that's a sign of our lack of position sometimes. We mess it up and find ourselves having to go for a double.
Well, I noticed you had 2 10 balls, one you got, one you missed, and you had the double option, but both times you chose the cut to the middle pocket.
Historically, I'm pretty bad at doubling, and I think I've gone for a lot more of them today than I usually do, but yeah, if I have a choice, I'll always go the cut.
Yeah, see, I'm complete opposite.
Now that was a nice one.
Yeah, well, any long table double you get's pretty nice, especially when you've got a jigger in your hand.
Ooh.
Nice little bit of stun run through there. Get straight up on the 5. Yeah, she can just get the white ball to middle table, just a little bit past middle table. She's decided to go right to the rail, which means she can just run through on this. She can put side on if she wants, doesn't have to. Okay, yeah, she's going to stun across. Yeah, so she's put the stun on just to give her that angle. It's probably the worst angle she's got because she's dead straight on that, but where the 9 is, it's a pretty easy cut.
Screw back. Touch of angle there gave her a much better angle on the 9.
And these are the tricky ones, just getting really want to get plumb on that 10. Just going to overhit it a little bit. But she'd be pretty happy with that.
I think she'll get this. Yep, good go. So Annette takes the first 2 frames.
Okay. Just going to see that. They seem to be updating their scores. Suck it, computers. Look. 1. You can see that comes up straight away.
Yep.
So take it away, it goes away.
That's right.
See you 2 more.
Miss Annie Kim's got a pretty good break there. Quite a bit of power behind it.
Yeah, that's reminiscent of the mule break. Got the back leg working. Yeah, that's the worst thing to do on a break, though. I do it all the time. Either I want to get the screw on it, but I want the white to still stop in the middle of the table. If I do get too much screw, I just want to come straight back on the top rail and come back down the middle of the table. But 50% of the time, I either go in off straight in the middle because I'm not as accurate. I hit half ball on the 1, or I'm just off, like an 1/8 off, and I screw dead straight into either corner pocket. So it's kind of still a good break, but yeah, it's just that one component of it which gets annoying.
Yeah, my break has changed a little bit. I used to often break right from the side in 9 ball, and I've now switched to breaking pretty much from the middle.
Yeah, so 9 ball I'll still break from the side, but 8 ball, 10 ball, yeah, I'm straight down the middle. It's just because a big part of it's just controlling that white.
Yeah.
If you time it well, you'll get a ball, and if you're in the middle of the table, you've got the best chance of the next shot. If you're doing a control break, then obviously you want to come back a bit because the 1's probably going to be up the top table. Yeah. If you're going for the wing balls on 10 ball.
Ball in hand here. Number 3. And she looks like she's going to just stun a little bit, hold it for the 4 perhaps. Yes. Just a little bit off the cushion. Welcome Barry Mavros to the chat room.
Can't believe you're not here commentating.
I know, we miss you, Barry. Looks like she's got the snooker. No, I think she got a little bit lucky. Oh, just missed. Another ball in hand opportunity for Annette. I think she's gone a bit further than she wanted to there. But it looks like she can still see it. Oh no.
All right, well, so Annie's in the final with 2 chances because she knows how to play. She's really got to make sure that, yeah, she nails the rest of this frame. Like, that was a pretty good shot, but like, I still 100% she should get that. She's going around to make sure she wants shape on this 6, obviously, to make the 8 an easy ball. So she probably want to be up table, hitting down on this 6.
That's right.
That's almost
struggle to get back up for the 8 ball.
That's almost the worst angle you could be on, but she still might be able to go. Oh yeah, she's got a bit of angle. She did have a little bit of angle, didn't have to force that. So that's just a little bit of a concentration error for her. Also, I'm not sure if she was stretching or not, which was a factor. Yeah, so she really did have to try and cheat that pocket a bit for that last shot, and that's drawn the error. So don't see much going wrong here though.
We have another visitor in the chat room. Eagle Harry, welcome.
Oh, it's Matt. So anyway. Oh, I just want you can keep that like kind of because it can't, you know, it's been on. Yeah, I thought you had to. Oh, no one told me to stop. Oh, really? Yeah. Thanks, Kimo, for doing your job. I just do.
Nice shooting, Annie. Annie gets the score. 2-1. Eagle Harry, is that Jono Kalasia?
Let's go have a few comments here from Annette Clifford. So 2-1.
Yeah, how did that happen?
Yeah, but how did you mess up that frame? What went wrong there?
Have you not watched any of my games today?
No, I know I've got an opinion on how you messed it up. Just the viewers at home want to hear your opinion.
Well, I'm busted ass, that's what it is.
Let me put it this way. Have you shared this on Facebook or anything like that you're playing this match?
I have not, but Fleur's just about to do that for me.
So that lacks confidence, in my opinion.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I think there's an issue there.
Wave that red flag.
Well, you know, I'm just saying maybe you could have a little bit more positive approach to this match.
Well, that's true.
Or maybe could that work against you? All right, so we're back. Annie just won the last frame. Annette still leads 2-1. This is a race to 6. This is a race to... I don't have my glasses on. What does that say? Really? Okay, that's a race to 6. And, of course, Annie has 1 life, having gone through the winner's side of the draw undefeated. She's not going to be real happy with that shot. That didn't quite work out the way she envisioned it. Yeah, so Annette's got to beat her twice. Annie's really got, I was speaking to her about it before the match, and we both agreed that she's really got to put that concept of having 2 lives out of her mind. That I think if you're the one who has the lives, it will just can work against you. Insofar as if you're the aggressor and you want to win a match and you're playing someone who has 2 lives, it's equally, it can seem like insurmountable. Oh, that's a nice shot. Thing to be able to achieve until you win the first one, and then obviously you get really confident and then wonder why you were really negative in the first place. Yeah, so I think the mind, obviously, everyone would prefer to have 2 lives going into a final, and you deserve it if you're playing double limb and you're undefeated. But yeah, oh, that's a great double, and that's really unlucky. I think that's the 40th in off for today.
Yeah, but no one's counting.
And he's having a good smile about that. That's good, because she knows she actually executed a pretty good shot there. She just didn't really foresee how that was going to end up with the kiss off the 4. Not sure any of us could have. But yeah, it's important that she's taken the Efren Reyes approach and just have a big smile on your face no matter what happens. So Annette's gone the old self-snooker option here. I'm be surprised if she doesn't jump this. Well, the 6 is down there on the bottom rail. So she just doesn't want to screw it. She wants to get a little bit of stun run through off this. And she did what I always do, which is hit the ball right in front. Well, I hit the ball, I'm trying to jump over. So I guess Annie's just a little bit concerned about that 8 ball. She's got to get position off the 7 for that. The 7 is... She's probably run through a little bit too much there. I think the best she can do is maybe get underneath the 7 to put it in the top. But yeah, once again, she needs to leave herself the correct amount of angle. That looks pretty good. She should be able to just roll this in with top and naturally get out for the 8 ball down the corner like that. Sort of overhit it, but that's fine. Use the cushion. She can afford to just knock this in with stun, come off the rail on the side and float back over for the 9. Just really just want to concentrate on the pot here and just making sure that she hits it nice. Oh, she went the opposite way. Okay. Yeah, I don't think that was the best choice. I think maybe she chose that because she just felt a little bit more comfortable with potting the 8. For some people, they just like those back cuts. I can't stand them personally. I would never go on that way. And Annette pretty much just has to float down, put the 9 in the middle and the 10 in the bottom left-hand corner. I think that's what she's looking at. Screw. Yeah, I'd run through just because it's a little bit easier to control.
Yeah.
Especially when you're trying to line up with the middle pocket.
Yeah, that's that's right. Playing across the shot you want to play. Oh, she's going to take the corner.
That was the other option. If I got a straight shot, I'll leave myself the distance because they're pretty easy.
That could be a pretty straight.
That looks pretty straight, doesn't it? That pocket's big enough there. You can create a little bit of angle off there pretty easy.
Yeah. She's come down under the 10, so looks like a pretty straight shot to the side. Yep, straight in. And he comes back to make it 2-all. Jono, you're asking about Ashley from ACT. Yes, she was. Unfortunately, who did she play first? And I'm not sure who she played on the winning side, but she played me on the loser's side. And then lost to so Ashley lost to Annie Kim on the winner's side, and then she went over onto the loser's side and played against me. And I think I was playing pretty well at that stage of the day. I won that match. So, hi Blake, welcome to the chat room. Today the race is to 6, but Annie is at the moment with 2 lives, so Annette needs to beat her twice in a race to 6 both times. I don't think Annie meant to pot that ball, so Annette could send her back in with 10-ball rules, but looks like she's decided to play on. Nice, very nice. She snookered herself. I can't quite tell. Yeah, she's looking at all the angles.
It's really unlucky. She hit that ball really nice, and it was just the perfect amount of pace to land exactly dead straight on the 9.
Yeah. Yeah. So she's now got a long, fine cut on the 10, but
that's in 100%.
doable. Definitely doable. Oh no.
She's overcut it again.
She has.
She's absolutely hating that pocket.
It's
So that can't be an aiming issue. That's got to be a cueing issue. There's no way she saw that as the potting angle. That has to be something to do with her wrist, or, you know, when she's coming through on the shot, something's not free.
Yeah.
So she might be tensing up a bit, gripping the cue a bit too hard.
Or the left-hand side of her brain is just telling her that it's one angle and it's actually a different one.
It's good though, she's having a laugh about it.
Yeah.
And that's so important, to remain relaxed and in a positive frame of mind. You know, I mean, you might as well even just go for your opponent. I find I'm happy to cheer for my opponents when they hit good shots. I tell them, because it just keeps me positive and, you know, in the moment. And I'm concentrating on what they're doing and how they're approaching it and what type of shots they're going for. Not because I'm trying to find a way to exploit it, but just because I'm enjoying maintaining my concentration, I guess, so that when I get back to the table, I'm still thinking about angles and potting and whether, you know, whereas I play a lot of people and I can just tell that once I win a frame, they're thinking about killing me. They're thinking about taking me out of the back and kicking the shit out of me, and you know, and they end up losing just because they're not concentrating anymore.
I can't imagine anyone would want to do that to you, Kimmo. But that is excellent advice. If you spend all your time thinking about the game and each shot being played, you don't have time to start worrying about things that don't matter. So you're staying focused, watching your opponent play every shot, thinking about what you're going to do. It's really important. Annie just played a really good snooker there.
Yeah, that's nasty.
One thing I haven't seen today is a lot of 2 fouls or anyone losing games with 3 fouls.
Yeah, does that happen a lot in the women's game? Because I mean, it happens a lot in the men's game, and like I get it, but yeah, I think there are times to do it, and they're very few. But it just seems that as soon as someone fouls, the guy's straight away trying to get the second foul when there's like 5 balls left. They're all open. It's just like any other time you just pot out. Why are you going for a snooker now?
See, Annie's just done that. She played a deliberate, tough snooker on Annette because she knows that she's already got 1 foul, and she's hoping to get the second foul.
I think sometimes, especially tactically, if your game is to try and get in someone's head, then there are times to play that shot. But yeah, the only time I ever really played is when someone miscues on the break, because that's a foul, and I know 100% I'll get the second foul because there's a shot to play, and I'm pretty much 90% I'll win that frame if I go.
Foul. I didn't realise that.
Okay, right. So Annie's got a 3 foul on her. And it's, for anyone who's ever been 3 fouled, it is one of the most annoying ways to lose a frame. Like I can think of maybe 3 times in my life where I've been 3 fouled and I enjoyed it just because it was a good tactical battle. They laid really good snookers on me, and I, you know, played really good shots to try and get out of it and just didn't, you know, just missed it. So Yeah, but most of the time you're just like, what a fucking dick. Sorry, I can't really swear, but that's what you're thinking. Everyone's thinking that. And so if you're the kind of player that likes to get inside your opponent's head to gain a mental advantage, then yeah, that's one of the styles of play that is very effective, because yeah, it annoys everyone.
Yeah.
And it's really important, if you're playing a match and someone does it to you, either make it look like you're really annoyed but you're not really, and try and get them back that way, or just don't acknowledge it whatsoever.
Yeah. You've just got to put it out of your head and move on with the next frame.
And for those of you who don't know, with the break, I played Danny Stone recently and he miscued. Then, so on 10 ball and 9 ball, obviously got ball in hand, you got a full rack in front of you. All you do is glance off the one and make sure that you get the white directly behind the pack, because then the pack will have moved a bit and you can only see about a quarter of the one ball, and they've got to come off the side rail and try and hit a quarter of a ball. Okay, the shot to play is don't go for it. Just run your cue right through the middle of the pack and smash all the balls up. That's your only chance of having a chance of winning that frame. Because if you try and go for that second shot, and once you miss that one, then the balls are broken up even more, and you're guaranteed of the nastiest snooker. So yeah, just smash the balls up if you're ever in that position. Just do what you should have done with the break, because that's the only way you'll have a chance. Danny.
I'll keep that in mind if that ever happens to me.
So I guess the only issue she's got here, Fleur, is that 6 ball. Oh, that was a really tight shot to go for. Yeah, so they've both got the same problem, is I don't think that 6 really goes unless you're magically somehow right next to that black. I think you can back cut it if you're near the rail, but I can't see from here how much room is between those balls. I think you probably might be able to back cut it off that rail, but yeah, so it's not exactly, it's going to be a little bit tactical from now on, so whoever pots 3, 4, 5 still has to deal with that. So you'd be looking at maybe, if you get a chance to disturb that 6 and play a safety, that's a good time to go for a safety. I think Annie'd just be happy hitting this. Oh, how the hell did she find that gap? Not that it matters.
No. There's a few awkward balls on the table. That 5's not looking to open.
Play for the cut though. Yeah, I think that's right.
If it's on past the 10, that's all right.
Yes, if you want to drill this 5 in and you bottom right and screw around that pocket to come and disturb this 6 ball. See, there was really no point in playing that 5 unless you get the 6 out.
Unless you can do something creative with the 6 and get some sort of safety. But it's only got one side of it available.
Oh, geez, she's played that well. I think She might not get the snooker, but yeah, she had side going on like every side of that white ball then. She was unlucky not to tuck in behind the black there. I think Annie's got the edge of this, so she can putt it to that bottom left-hand corner. She's gonna be a little bit worried about the in-off here. Sort of in-off city, really, isn't it? Oh, has that not dropped?
Same pocket again. She must be getting the yips over that pocket. Bit unlucky there, she's left it right over the pocket. And looks like she can make it just a little bit of angle here to come across, yes.
Yeah, so the trick here is leaving yourself the really nice putting angle off the 9 to get onto the 10, and that's what she's done. So you can just play this with a touch aside and come out just past the middle of the table and you're straight on the 10 in the bottom right. Yeah, and that's what she's done. She hasn't probably could have just got through that a little bit more, but that's fine. She'll putt this all day. Oh, yeah.
Good shot, Annie. Takes the lead for the first time in this match. So Annie only needs 2 more frames, whereas Annette has quite a long road still ahead of her to stay in this match.
Does that seem to you to be a strange bit of text on the front of Jing's sweater? It's not really the car mod type of chick, you know what I'm saying? You hearing me?
Mighty car mods. We're just commenting on Jing's sportswear. She's sporting a slogan, Mighty Car Mods. Business friend? I don't think she knows what it means either. It's her husband's top. We were wondering about your secret life of car enthusiasm. I do like the split that you get when you're playing 10 ball. There seems to be just the right amount of balls to split apart really nicely and not leave the table too crowded. I think 10 ball's my favourite game out of 8 ball, 9 ball, 10 ball. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, 10 ball's always been my game. I can't stand flukes. I mean, I like 8 ball. But yeah, 10 ball just seems to be a little bit more disciplined. 8 ball's a bit easy. You know, you just got those. You got so many choices in 8 ball, which is really hard for some people. Some people can't handle the fact that there's so many choices. You know, and then you obviously you have what's called pattern play in 8 ball. 10 ball, you don't really mention pattern play in the same way because you're forced into the pattern to a great extent. But yeah, I agree with Fleur. It's my favourite game because the break is tough, whereas 9 ball the break's pretty easy. I know that they're sort of mucking around with where you put the 1 these days, but yeah, the beauty of 10 ball is the fact that it's a call shot game, the same as 8 ball. The break's hard. And, you know, you've got to pot 10 balls in a row, or at least 9 balls in a row, usually.
And now that they've changed the rule that says you can't just play the lowest number ball onto the 10 to win, the 10 gets respotted. So it does...
which retains that sort of air to it.
Yeah, you really have to have the skill to pot all those balls. There's no shortcuts. Except for the free-foul rule.
No, the other shortcut is you let your opponent sink 1 to 9 and then roll the 10 over a pocket for you.
If you can arrange that, it works really well.
That's generally how I win most of my matches. Annette's taken on the double here. It's kind of a shot to nothing, so it's worth going for. It's just got the, yeah, she really went wide on that one, didn't she?
Yeah. She just wanted that white behind the other balls.
Yeah, but Annie is seriously just going to jump this with no problem and slot the 5 in the bottom corner and land perfectly on the 6. That's my call. Well, you got that massive pocket with the 10 ball there.
Yeah, true. I had a lot of failed jump shots today. I got too excited. My first jump shot of the day worked. The ball went straight in, and then I kept thinking I could do it, and I couldn't. Oh, they're really not easy. Some people make it look easy, but not for me.
Well, I mean, I have a jump cue, but I bought it for $5 when I was in Vegas last time. But I very rarely. I'm pretty good with my kicking. I got more chance of potting something if I kick at it, and usually, for me, it's defined by my white ball control. So now and then, the jump shot is the obvious shot. But I think 9 times out of 10, kicking is the best way to go. And I sort of agree with, who's that crazy American dude? Earl Strickland. So he's lived through this, you know, the last sort of 50 years of pool. He's been in it, so he's seen the change, and he's totally against jump cues. He doesn't mind people playing jump shots, but only with their break cues. Where he doesn't like this whole idea of developing technology to make jumping easy. But I'm also of the opinion that you should play no safety. So, well, it just means if my opponent tries to pot a ball, he or she misses and accidentally snookers me, why is that my problem? That's ball in hand. So all of a sudden I'm kicking or pulling out a jump shot, well, just because my opponent was inaccurate. So yeah, I believe in that because the era of television, it would move a tournament on so much quicker. It would take out probably 70% of all safety, because safety usually comes about by someone making a mistake and having to play a safety shot, or, you know, it's off the break and you're forced into a safety. So you'd still have it. And that's gonna 9 out of the 10 here, probably 100% this shot. But landing back on the 9 is the hard bit, and she's manipulated that pretty well, although.
Just sending Kimmo in to do the respot. Not sure that's the right spot, Kimmo. Yeah, that's a bit unfortunate for Annette, but that's where it goes. So Annette's called Kimmo in to watch the shot for her. Not sure what she's planning here. Is she going for the double?
Yeah, so Annette's got me to ask that because what she did was she just clipped the 9 ball to pot the 10. And it was really unfair for her because right at the last millisecond it rolled off. So yeah, it was a really creative and well executed shot, and it's just unlucky it didn't drop. When you consider what she did on the last shot, so... But it's good. Annie's going to capitalise on that, and it's very important to capitalise on your opponent's mistakes. Oh, that's a very dangerous way to play that shot, but she's gotten away with it. And that makes it 6-4 to Annie. 5-4. 5-3.
Yeah. We know what we're talking about, don't we?
Yeah, so some pretty actually very skillfully executed shots there from Annette. She's very unlucky not to come away with a win on that frame. But yeah, Annie knuckled down and played that 9 ball the way she should have. She drilled that in the middle. She played it very confidently. She could have easily played that in a very timid way, but it was good to see her drill it in.
So Annie on the hill to take the title.
Yeah, so we're talking about the pattern play. The reason why Fleur and I love this game because it's for people like us to have things spelled out really succinctly and obviously. It's really handy. And that's just really simple pattern play. Every ball connects to every other ball, which is what the whole idea of pattern play means, so that you don't really have to move the white around too much to get the desired result. A little bit tricky with this 4, but you can, like for me, the obvious shot's cushion first, then 4, and that brings the white up to get you into the middle of the table for the 5. And then you can just screw off the 5 half ball and you're on the 6. Roll the 6 in, 7. All you're doing is leaving yourself sort of quarter table angles on the 7 and the 8. Yeah, so she's tried to force the angle on that instead of going cushion first.
It was a little bit off the cushion, so cushion first was a little bit risky.
I just think that's another situation where there's the right shot to play and the wrong shot to play, and if you don't feel like you're confident with that cushion first shot, practice it, because you have to. A lot of times when you end up straight on balls near rails, you got to know they're off the cushion shot, and you got to know it between, say, 1 millimetre and maybe 2 centimetres. You got to be able to deal with that sort of distance. But it just allows you to get the white ball back in the middle of the table for those times when you're stuck on the cushion.
Annie's back in this. She can take this frame and the title. I didn't realise she was so straight on that. She was hoping to cheat it just a little bit to get across with the 7, but no luck.
Annette struck that quite well, just a little bit inaccurate. That's a really nice, very advanced shot there from Annie. To get the side on that without the pace, it's a really difficult shot to play.
Perfect angle she needs now.
Yeah, and that's all the difference, just having the freedom of having a bit of angle so that you can just play it natural ball.
We've seen that a few times today, haven't we?
Well, the problem with that shot is too much pace, and she wasn't accurate with the putt. Like, even though it went in, she didn't hit the ball where she thought she was going to hit it, and therefore she's gotten a result which didn't actually work to her advantage. She's having a big smile about it, so once again, that's awesome. She's having a big smile.
She knows she's still got
She knows, yeah, and she knows exactly what she's done wrong. So yeah, it's a learning curve, but yeah, it's so important to focus on the part of the object ball that you want to hit every single shot. If you need to incorporate a pause into your cue action just to make sure that you can remind yourself to look at the object ball, and it's not just looking at the ball. You got to actually look at the point on the ball that you want to hit.
Yes.
And if you can't see it, stand up. Get back down. Do not let go of that cue on your follow through until you're focusing on the point of that object ball. Because if you're off by enough to pot the ball but not get position, then you can go in off, like anything can happen. So yeah, it's a lot to think about, and that's obviously the hard part of playing this game, is trying to maintain all that knowledge and all those variables. Because let's face it, every shot no matter how many times you played it or how you're playing, every time you're down on a shot, it's a little tiny bit different than the last time you played it, because the position's different. So you're always hitting it just very subtle degrees of difference, but you've got to be absorbing that, and you've got to be on top of it. Because subconsciously you think you're playing one shot when you're really playing a different shot, and because it's so subtle, the difference, sometimes your brain just does not register it. So you've got to make that decision for your brain and say, well, look, this is where I'm going to hit this ball, this is how I'm going to hit it, and make sure that's what you do. Otherwise this game will get very annoying in the same way that golf does.
Indecision can kill your game. So often when you miss, it's because you haven't really decided exactly what you're going to do, or you're just not sure that it's going to work out the way you want, and you sort of hit and hope, and that really works out exactly what you want.
Yeah, it's like the first time you have sex.
Exactly like that.
I think she was going for a sneaky snooker there, but I don't think she was going for the pot. Right, it's really, they say that the most difficult frames to win are the first and the last. So Annie's going to be struggling with pressure. She's going to be struggling to concentrate and make the right decisions. Annette obviously has got nothing to lose. Well, they say that Annette's got nothing to lose but she's got everything to lose. I don't understand that saying. But yeah, the pressure's off for Annette, because she feels like she should have probably lost that last frame. So she's just going to be going for it, knowing that Annie's under the pump, so to speak. And Annie's going to have to come back with, well, you know what, I'm a champion, and I know how to play under these conditions, and I'm going to knuckle down and concentrate and just knock the balls in like I know that I can. Or get lucky snookers. That's the other way you can do it. Oh, that's really unfortunate for Annette if that falls on.
I'd like to have called that.
Yeah, I don't think the 4 is on. I think Annie's called the 10. They're always hard shots to play because you've got to leave yourself on the 4, which means if you miss, you're leaving yourself on your opponent on the 4.
left herself a difficult 5. The old Chinese snooker, we call these, when you have to queue over the other ball.
Do you know what they call it in China?
I have no idea. Maybe Jing can tell us. No? She's just laughing.
I'm sure it's really racist. I'm sure where that saying comes from is really racist, and we just, because we've never known what it means, we've all been saying it for years, but I guarantee you there's some dodgy meaning to it. Yeah, so I don't know, I'm in two minds about that shot. There was a really obvious snooker on behind the 9. But on the other hand, it's really good to see her just go for it and try and pump it up there. See, Annette's got that deep concentration on it, look on her face. She's just pumped in that backwards double. She's got pretty easy shape to get back down on the 8. It's going to make sure. Oh, yeah! It's kind of lucky and unlucky there, but the way Annette's looking, I think she's going to cut this in with right-hand side and end up plumb on the 9, or going off in the top. All right. Annie's just sitting there, taking a little bit of time to compose herself, which is the right thing to do. A couple of ways to play this shot. You can play natural. The way I normally play it is I load it up with a crap load of right-hand side and try and pick the gap between the 9 and the cushion. I'm not saying that anyone should try that shot. That's just the way that I play it. I'm comfortable with doing it that way. It gives me a target. That's the other way to play it. She's just gone a little bit of side and picked the top gap. I hate going for the top gap because I always get it wrong and hit the 9 full ball. This one, she's just bottom right-hand side off the side rail, lands straight on the 10. Oh, yeah, I can't believe she missed something. She just... I don't think she really let go of the cue then exactly when she wanted to let go of it. It was sort of the anticipation on the shot meant that she didn't time it that well, and that just cost her accuracy. That's okay. She's taking a deep breath. Annette's got this tough 10 ball to take on. I've got a feeling she's going to drop this in, no worries. Yep, she's hit it at the right speed. If she tried to smash that in, that wouldn't have gone. She wasn't very accurate on that 10, but she hit it at what they call pocket speed. Just means if you're a little bit off, it's still going to drop. So we're looking at 4-all, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Oh, 4, 5?
No, I think we're looking at... Yeah, it is... No, it's hill. They've just done the high handshake.
Not doing that.
No. Yeah, so this is hill. Okay, so we've got Hill, race to 6. For those of you who've joined us since the last time we mentioned this, Annie has gone through the tournament undefeated on the winner's side of a double limb, so it means she's got 2 lives in the final. Annette came through the loser's side and will have to win this match and the following match to retain the title of the New South Wales 2017 Australian 10-ball championships. Yeah, suck it, Marguerite. We call everything the Australian now. That's awesome. Everything's the New South Wales Australian.
I don't really like that very much. I mean, I won the 8-ball a couple of months ago, and they were calling that an Australian title, and there was no one from any other state there, so it was a New South Wales title as far as I was concerned.
If you go to the Australian title in Adelaide, there's only people from Adelaide there, unless everyone from New South Wales goes. 6.5 and 1 and whatever the rest of that saying is.
No, I still only want to claim the New South Wales title.
No, but I mean, like, Oceania was just on, right?
Yeah.
There was no one there. As far, if you're looking at the cream of Australian pool players, essentially there was no one there.
I don't know who was there for the men, so...
I'm talking, if we just take the men's, for example, there's 20 guys I could think of straight off the top of my head that weren't there. So I know what you mean. It takes away from the
bigger titles, because not everybody can afford to travel to every large tournament.
Yeah, but I mean, the prestige of an Australian title would have that'd be one of the dynamics. The fact that the best of Australian pool players are at the venue fighting for the title. In my opinion, that's an Australian title. But if Marguerite's going to call 6 people showing up to some dodgy pool hall in Melbourne Australian title, then why can't we call a 64 comp an Australian title? You know, it makes more sense. But not that any of it makes that much sense. All right, back to the match at hand. That's so hard to play that shot at that pace, to get that little movement on the white, but still get a lot of movement on the 5-ball. It's plugged in. It is plugged in. I can't plug it in any more than it's plugged in.
Doesn't think it is.
It'll last, will it?
We don't need it, do we?
Not really, no, we'll just leave it.
Get out my iPad.
No, this should be right. Well, if Annette wins this, I'll plug it in. That's a pretty nice shot there. She didn't quite get up there enough, but she might be looking at a bit of safety. If you just glance the right-hand side of this 6-ball, get the white. Oh, okay, she's gone the other.
It's like an impossible double.
Yeah, that double, you can play it with a lot of check side. So you take on less of the 6-ball, but the check side will straighten it up. She hasn't called anything, so I think she's going to play safe. I think she may, oh no, I think she's probably got a half-ball snooker on that. Any part of that 6 Annie could see, she probably couldn't hit because she's going off. So she's going to be forced into just trying to hit this 6, I think. Yeah. She's done pretty well under the circumstances. Couldn't even get a snooker out of it. Annette might be looking at just cutting the 6 into the 8 here and hiding back around behind the 10.
she's nominated the corner. She's going to go for the double. No. Did she get a little bit of safety there?
I think Annie
she
can see the bottom of that.
Yeah.
Really, she's just rolling this in, isn't she? And stay on that 7.
Taking her time to work it out. She doesn't want to land behind the 10.
Yeah, might be looking at loading this up with left-hand side and hitting it hard and trying to get above that 6 just to take that 10 out of it. Above the 7, so. You've got to get the pace perfect on this. It's not worth it.
No.
Just hit a nice, confident, hard shot and try and get above that 7. She's got the angle, yeah. You can tell the look on her face that she can see it. Now it's just judging the pace.
Yep, straight in, nice and confident.
You probably want to hit that with a touch of right-hand side just to get above the black.
Very unlucky.
Every match here is being decided by an off. I'd just like to thank Mr. Quinn for yesterday's commentary exploits. Yeah, everyone obviously who was watching appreciates your comments.
I was tucked up in bed watching it on my iPad. I really enjoyed it.
And yeah, so we'd like to have you back. Oh, not again, not another in off. This is killing me. Alright, so it's just avoided the in off there. Not sure what kind of angle she's got. Oh yeah, I think she can just drop off this 9. I mean, she can do a few things with this 9. She can just play it naturally and end up on the 10.
Yeah, she can just roll it in. As long as she doesn't roll off there.
Just doesn't want to hit it thick.
That's nice.
Alright, well that, yeah, so obviously it means we'll be back for another set, which is fine, just means they get to play more pool. I don't think anyone's going to be complaining about that. Oh, that's in off angle. Yep. Alright, so we will, yeah, we'll keep the stream going. We're pretty much going to start this straight away. It's just another race to 6. Thoughts, Annette? Yeah, so Annette's fairly happy about the result for the first set there. Yeah, so yeah, undefeated. What's that? What's that?
Set it back to 0?
Nah, we'll reset it.
What about you, Annie? Do you need water or anything?
Yeah, you're welcome to do whatever. Like, we're just going to keep the stream going. So, any thoughts on that first set there, Annie? Anything you'd like to say to Annette just before we start this second set?
Good luck.
She was, if you didn't hear, he said, what's the tactics like before the game? And I said, well, if everything else fails, like I was going to tackle you. So, but yeah, let's have fun. And,
No, well, at worst, you get to play more pool. There are no losers here so far. All right, enjoy.
Tournament where I've really got my money's worth. Like, we played non-stop.
Exactly. All right, good luck. For those of you who aren't aware, this will now go to the decider, race to 6. Annie Kim went through the winner's side of the draw today undefeated. And as in proper double elimination style, you are... Yeah, Annie gets 2 lives in the final. So that was close. That was heel. Yeah, a lot of in-offs. I think Annie was a little bit unlucky, and then Annette was really lucky not to go in-off on that final 8 ball. But, you know, that is what it is. So, but it's good to see the ladies enjoying themselves. As Annie pointed out, she's getting really good value for money. She's had a fantastic day, only being defeated once in the final. And she gets to have another go at a final, which is kind of awesome. Like, you get to have 2 finals in one day. So it's good for Annie's experience. And obviously Annette comes down from Newcastle, so the fact that she's in the final and gets to play twice, she'll be pretty happy as well. So everyone's happy. Hoping all the viewers out there in viewing land are also happy. Jing's happy. I bought her a fruit salad. She's smashing it. Oh yeah. posted that to Annette's Facebook. I think I just did it to her, like her timeline. You click on the person, click off that. Yeah, and then go see yeah. Welcome back, viewers. Or sorry, not that anyone left. Geez, Annette's just played some awesome shots there. She's got a pretty good snooker on Annie. Annette's really playing a different style of game. I think Annette's really got a taste for this final now. As I said before, it seems like a daunting task when you're in a final and you've got to beat them twice and they haven't lost yet. You just think you've got no chance, and then all of a sudden you've won the first match set. And, you know, it's sort of like even Stevens. You're like, well, now they have lost once and they just lost to me. So you're kind of in the driver's seat mentally. So I think Annie's just fouled once. So we've got the three foul rule in place today. So yeah, Annie, obviously, if she doesn't get out of this, but I think she will, then I think Annette would go for it. But yeah, she's hit that well, so it's reset now that Annie has completed a legal shot at the table. So a legal shot. It's so hard to say that without sounding like you're saying an illegal shot. Oh, awesomely cued there by Miss Clifford. Yeah, so she's got to sort of drop. Be nice to be able to drop this 3 in with a little bit of right hand side just to straighten yourself up on the 4. But yeah, I don't think like 6 to 7 is probably the toughest thing she's going to have to deal with after this shot. But yeah, I don't see a whole lot going wrong for her. That was a difficult shot though, so yeah, she didn't go too well.
And he's playing the combination here. And that looks like she's queuing very confidently now, and so she should, after having won that first match in the final. Another confident shot, but she's snookered herself, or at least a partial snooker. She gets out of it, and I don't know if Annie can see the whole ball here or if she can only see half of it. No, she can see it. Straight in. Oh, very unlucky. That 10 ball just running up like that. She's calling the 8. A little bit more legs on it. I think it would have hit that 8 ball in, but... ball in the side. Nicely done. Annette takes the first frame.
Okay. I don't know.
Here we are in the second frame of the second match in the final. Annette successfully gets out of that snooker, but she has left a very easy shot for Annie. Annie just needs to plan 1 to the 2 to the 3, and so on. So the 3's on for a few different pockets here, and she can choose. Looks like she's going to play it on to the 9. Now, that's always the danger when you're playing a shot like that, isn't it, Kimmo?
Yeah, once again, you've got to be really careful about which side you hit that 9 on. So that 9 was not in the middle of the pocket, it was sort of on the left-hand side, which means you've got to sort of aim to miss it a bit. And you've also got to be really careful not to pot the 3 as well when you play that shot. Or just make sure that you've got position on the 4 in case the 3 does go down as well. So, but yeah, it's just that little bit of, it's not so much lapse in concentration, but it's just sort of,
Thinking it through.
yeah, and just sort of paying attention to the little details of the shot, which yeah, can get you in trouble really quickly if you're not aware of it. But yeah, after you play that shot about 6 times, then you become aware of it.
Experience is a great teacher. And that is one of the main differences between our two players today. Annette has been playing just about as long as I have, and that's a long time. So, first met each other playing pool back in the 90s, early 90s. And Annie has been coming to the tournaments for just a few years now, but she's improving so much, and she has certainly earned her way here to the final today. She's potting that ball really well. She gave that one just a little bit too much oomph. More oomph than aim. Oh, that's surprising. I think she thought she had a little bit of angle to work with there, and it just went a bit too straight.
That's when the right-hand side really works to disadvantage. So she's hit that just a little bit off. She's sort of given up her angle because she's played it with so much right-hand side. She's kind of swerved into the shot, and that pocket's just gobbled everything up.
Annie rushed that shot just then. She threw her head back with a bit of
disgust.
Oh, another in-off. And they told us they weren't going to do any of this match.
You said no in-off.
Starting now.
At this stage in my life, I've got a bit of dementia. You have to remind me.
Okay, every frame, I'll give you an update. So is it still 1-0 to Annette?
It is.
So a few tactics then.
Yeah, there's been a lot of safety this game.
Sorry, just
So what's that, Tony?
find out what's going on, that's all.
What is it you'd like to know?
I'm here because I have to...
Just representing City Heroes, who we thank from the bottom of our hearts, and the fabulous staff here, one of which being Tony. What can we help you with, mate?
I'm just wondering what time this might finish, if you have an estimated time.
Estimate ETF. ETF, estimated time of finish. Yeah, you happy with that? Yeah, possibly. Yeah, so they've got it one full, like it's 1-0. Race to 6. So yeah, you look at it maybe 40 minutes to an hour.
Race to 6.
Hey, how you feeling about that?
Right, 6 sets?
6 frames.
6 frames, that's all right.
So just pretend you're in the pool comp.
11 frames.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm fine with that. We just need to know because it's gotta get a lot busier. That's all. Just telling you guys first.
Yeah, we'll hook you up.
Like I'm just saying, like because it's gotta get busier, more people might, jump balls off the table, might interfere with the play. I'm just saying.
Thanks for stopping by.
Anytime.
Yeah, it was Tony, one of the City Heroes staff members. He's been with us all day. Looks like he's on a double. And the staff here do work tirelessly to keep us all happy. Yeah, which is very generous of both them and Walter Yao, the owner of City Heroes. So yeah, obviously thanking them from the bottom of our hearts. Oh my God. Ooh, that's nasty, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just left that rather difficult. She might be going for a double kiss. She called the pocket, just in case.
Yeah, I think she just called it just in case. Smart thing to do. Yes, that may seem like a really silly shot, but obviously the best shot is you spread them so you got the wide and you leave them. You got to leave them an off double. But yeah, it was a hard safety shot.
It's a bit of a dare, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Oh, and she takes on the dare.
Slotted that in easy.
That takes the second frame. So we've got Dave Kimmy in the live chat room cheering on Annette. That must be one of her friends from Newcastle.
I think it's pronounced Spewcastle. At least it was when I lived there.
Dave Kimmy just replied that he used to be, but he's now in Queensland. Nice to have some interstate watchers watching our live stream today. This is an important frame for Annette. If she can take this one as well, being 3-0 up would be a big confidence builder. No, and just as I say that, she misses. Something she probably shouldn't have missed.
Yeah, this is a really good test for Annie. Yeah, it's really obviously worked against her having this double life. I mean, it worked against her in the sense that the dynamic has changed completely. So she's gone through undefeated, smashed everyone, had 2 chances in the final, but Annette's taken one of those chances from her on the hill. But this is great experience for Annie. She gets a double chance to deal with this pressure. So this will put her in great stead for future tournaments.
Yeah. Annie has won a title before, hasn't she? I'm pretty sure she won.
Yeah, she's won one.
Yeah.
And she's won a world title.
Has she really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, her and Joey and Kate.
Over in Vegas.
Yeah.
Okay.
I call it a world title simply because the Americans call their baseball a World Series because it's in America. So why can't that be a world title?
Well, yeah, why not?
Well, we could call it an Australian title. Yeah, there's a pretty small gap there to slip underneath the black, in between the 9 and the black. Pretty sure we're going to see a bit of a nasty safety coming up here. Not too nasty.
Well, might be nasty. No.
Okay, so the trick with these shots, Vinny told me this. He said, always, if you're going to err on the fine cut, err on the cut, because at worst you leave the black, like that.
So overcut,
Yeah,
yes.
so you hit that thick and you leave the black up.
Yeah.
It's all over.
Yeah.
So always, if you're not sure, if you're struggling with the angle on the pot, just think overcut more than thick.
Yeah.
Because that's the worst that can happen.
Oh. They keep promising us they're not going to do that anymore.
I told you last frame, come on.
I'm sorry, sir.
Like every shot I got to remind you.
Yes, the dementia's that bad.
Alright, he would have liked to get a bit closer to my work there, but obviously 10's in the middle of the table, so she's got a bunch of options here.
She's playing it low. She's going to screw back.
Too nice. It just didn't need the running side on it.
She goes low enough. She can go
Yeah, so these are the shots that you've been putting in the side.
I love these side pockets. They're really generous, and I just see them really well.
Yeah, from a double, I look at that and I just see the double and I want to smack it in.
I'll take a fine cut to the side over a shot like this because these are the shots that do make me a bit nervous. The long ones with just a bit of angle. We all have our weaknesses.
Yeah, so unexpectedly, or expectantly, depending on which argument I've put forward that you prefer. I'm sure I've done a few. Annette is up 3-0. Yeah, she was looking down the barrel, an hour and a half ago, of trying to defeat Annie, who hasn't lost today yet twice, race to 6, and not really feeling like knowing Annette, she's still confident that she could do it, but yeah, it was obviously a big task.
Well, she was under strict instructions from me to win, so yeah.
So,
she's staying at my place tonight. She would not be. She would have to cop it from me all night if she lost.
So, copping the wrath of Fleur all night has culminated in a resurgence from Annette to try and take this out. Obviously can't afford to lose.
I told her she could stay at my place this weekend, but one of us had to win. So if she was going to beat me, then she has to follow through and win this.
So what's your technique for the push-out? You like to leave them an edge, or do you like to leave you leave them a shot that you like and you know they'll hate?
Yeah, obviously you want to leave them the full ball that they can hit, but you don't want it to be an easy shot. So if you have to leave them with a double or just leave them with an ugly angle?
Well, you do something like that, try and kill another ball. You know, if you put the 8 on the rail near the 5, then obviously it just makes it a little bit harder.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
don't have much technique.
I just like playing pool.
Yeah.
I just want to be the person at the table, so I always play a shot that I know my opponent will give back to me. And I just have a look at if there's a double pot on or a combination that I see that I think they may not see, I'll set myself up for it. I'm lucky in the way that I've got I can't remember how people describe me, but there's some word they always use to describe my approach to playing pool.
Unorthodox?
Yeah, unorthodox, I guess, is. But what that allows me to do is there's a lot of shots I'm very comfortable with that people just don't see, and they don't like if they do see it, and they hand it straight back to me. I go, awesome. And I just pot it, and they think, what the hell, where did that shot come from? Yeah, so that's my tactic on the push out. And also a lot of times if I'm snookered on the 1, I'll just kick at it if I can see a good safety available. Because there's nothing worse than playing a push out and then straight away you're back at the table and you're behind a bunch of balls and you're like, well what was... I'd just rather be that person controlling my own outcome than letting someone else do it.
She can see the 3, but I don't know if she can see the far edge of it for a cut. Oh, yes, she can.
Good to see Annie still smiling. Yeah, as I said, just got a chance to get a lot of really good experience out of this match. That's a fantastic shot there from Annette. Pretty unlucky to end up there.
It's really close to the spot.
Bag's not reffing. Yeah, so I don't really want anyone to lose, but I know it would be fantastic if Annie could come back from here. I don't think it would be too devastating to Annette, but I think there is a chance that this could be kind of devastating to Annie if she doesn't walk away with the title today.
It would be nice to see a really close match. Obviously, I'm a bit biased. Annette and I have been really good buds for a long time, but I won't be unhappy if Annie takes this because I think that she is now looking to be a bit of the underdog, and
Yeah.
she can come back from this. That'll be great.
She's got about half a pocket in that bottom left-hand corner. She's gonna take it on. Guess it's kind of safe as well. Oh, she's hit that sweet. Yeah, she's got fairly nice shape. Just can she can play it plain ball, but I'd be inclined to put a little bit of right hand side on this. Okay, go the other way. I'd just rather be a lot closer to that black to try and get position on this 9 ball. Yeah.
Yeah, nice shooting, Annie. Beautiful. Nicely done.
Drilled that in. Yeah, it was well struck. So it just shows that she's actually still fairly comfortable. Just the way she went about those. I mean, she just potted 4 balls in a row, and a couple of them were actually quite hard shots. But yeah, drilling that 10 in, just sending a message to Annette saying, I'm still here. You're still going to have to pot all these balls to beat me, and if you leave me a chance, you're going to take it. So Annie just applying a bit of pressure. So the dynamics will swing again towards the middle and the end of this match. As you're saying before, Annette's sort of the leader here, and Annie was a little bit of the underdog. But now it's going to become increasingly harder and harder for Annette to retain her concentration and finish off these games. And as we said before, Annie's got nothing to lose, but she's got everything to lose. I don't understand what is with that statement.
Annie's not showing any sign of pressure here. She's looking comfortable and focused. The score may be 3-1, but Annie's still in this.
I would never put my opponent that close to the ball, because it just allows them to, to get a snooker on you and make it at least leave them distance. Is that 7 on in the middle? Pot it from here?
And the 7 on the side? I'm not sure. And another in off.
Yeah, it doesn't kind of count though, because you're already fouled. Yeah, so if that 7's on in the middle, then Annette maybe doesn't have to move it really, because the 6 is pretty close to it, so she's just got to pretty much land in line with that 3 ball.
I don't know. I think maybe that 9's just a spinch in the way.
Would you have a crack at extracting it now? Because if you make contact with those balls, medium pace, you're going to be on the 4 pretty much.
Yeah.
Probably be aiming for the 7 ball off the cushion.
I'd probably consider it, but yeah, that's probably what I'd do too.
Yeah, I just like it because the extraction holds your white for the 7, so you can afford to be a bit creative.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have put a lot more spin on that, come off 2 cushions and tried to hit in between the 7 and the 9. And then I know I'm on the 4.
Oh, what did she do there? She must have...
Yeah, I think she's accidentally just hit that with a cue.
Yeah, I did that earlier today.
I think hit the 5 ball, in case you're wondering.
Fingering the 5 ball.
Yeah.
Come on, man, keep it clean. Okay, so she's really got to be careful not to... She's got to make sure she hits this properly. She's got a really good chance of snookering herself here. So would you come all the way to the rail, do you think? Or would you try middle table?
Yeah, when I'm using one of those flimsy rests, I would pretty much just roll it in as well, because You just can't do very much with those rests. They're very unstable.
I played Beanie yesterday and he had a shot where I knew he was going to need a rest, so I went and grabbed the rest and he just looked at me as if I was from a different planet, went over to his case, pulled out his own rest. So he definitely doesn't like them.
Yeah, they're just way too light. Yeah, I used to carry a moose head around that I could just stick on the end of any cue and have a decent rest. But it went missing. Got to get another one.
Yeah, I got my extension nicked, I don't know, a couple of months ago. So I've been using the rest a lot recently. And yeah, I've just started remembering all the shit I learnt when I played snooker. About, you know, where to put your elbow and, you know, the importance of your wrist and all that kind of, you know, because it is quite a technical skill set using a rest effectively, you know. It's not about just potting the ball, it's about hitting at the right pace, judging the distance between the tip of your cue and the ball, which is hard because your head's nowhere, your head's at the other end of the cue for once. Oh, she slotted that in nice. So yeah, we're looking at 4-1. Still a long way to go. Annie's still in this. I noticed the smile has gone. So she's definitely sort of coming to terms with the fact that, you know, title's not slipping away, but certainly it's time to really knuckle down and start concentrating. She can't really afford to make a whole lot of mistakes from here on in, because Annette's a pretty good front runner, and as you say, is very experienced, so she knows what Annie's going through, having been through it herself. That's the good thing about getting old and having experience, is you don't have to make those mistakes over and over again. And for Annie, she gets to make those mistakes.
And it's at that exciting time of the game when you're just improving all the time, and I remember that time when I was in my 20s and I was just learning more and more about controlling the white ball and technique. It is an exciting time. What's going on, man?
Hey, Pinky, just like to welcome you to the commentary booth. How you doing, mate?
Fuck them Mayweathers.
So that didn't go too well for you then. I'm assuming based on his last comment that you're talking about the fight, aren't you? So who was your guy?
Conor McGregor.
I don't have a TV. I don't follow sport except for golf and pool. What was his name? McGregor. So how'd he go? Not too good?
He get beat up. How's Annie going?
Yeah, this is the final of the 2017 Pool New South Wales Australian 10-ball ladies division.
Good to see. Good to see. Forever day.
We're going to get back to commentating.
Spencer and things there, but then again. Fuck them Mayweather. At least you try to rest. Fuck them Mayweather.
We've got. Okay, back to the match. We've just had an update from one of our Irish pool playing friends from the pool playing community. Pretty sure he's had a couple of beers, probably at the casino. It's probably not only has he gotten rid of some cash over the bar, I'm pretty sure he's gotten rid of some cash over a couple of the poker tables. And I'm pretty sure he probably bet on Conor McGregor beating Floyd Mayweather, which was never going to happen. We all know that. It's like saying that Ayrton Senna could beat Mick Doohan on a motorcycle track, you know? It's just crazy talk. As good as Ayrton Senna was, it's a motorbike and a car, you know?
Kimmo, you're talking to pool players here. We don't care about other sports, do we?
Exactly. Well, there's golf, which is pool outside. It is. It's exactly the same. It's just outside. That's a pretty nice... that's a nasty... Oh, no, I think Annie can see that tree. It's just seeing if it's on the rail, so I think she's going to do a little softy, rolly-uppy shot. Hope it doesn't roll off. Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, that's nice. Annette can just kick it off the rail, of course, but will she be able to leave it safe, or will she leave it on?
I reckon she's going it off.
Oh, wow.
That's a nasty shot.
That's always impressive, isn't it? When someone not only gets out of the snooker nicely and cleanly, but they put the ball in the pocket they called. Oh.
It's a crazy attempt at a cut. Like, I know you can get them, but...
crazy when you miss.
And, yeah, so I'm doubling that all day. That's going in the bottom pocket. Dead straight. She's got a pretty good chance for a snooker, nasty snooker here behind the black there.
Yeah, little pocket.
See, I would have been putting the white in the...
Still, the pot's not on, so she'll get another chance at the table. It's up to Annette to make it difficult.
That was a pretty nice attempt.
It's a long shot, not an easy pot, but it's on. This is easier.
And he's got a really nice stroke. It's once again, I'm surprised when she misses.
Yes.
And I get thinking that it's a technique issue, but I just can't find the floor. The only thing I can...
It could be that she's not looking at that spot that you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, the only thing I can see is that her approach isn't the same all the time. So I think she, I think she's just got that issue where she's just not timing it the same every time. So when she times, it's awesome. But yeah, she hasn't got to that point yet where...
I've always been a big believer that you need to have a rhythm. It's every shot needs to be the same every time, same number of feathers.
Yeah, sometimes she just seems to pull the pin a little bit too early on her shots.
That's nice, but the eight's
crazy.
not easy.
The doubles, not easy either.
The Kimmo double, back to the middle. It's not a difficult back to the middle. Yeah, nice.
Played that really well.
Yeah, 2 balls over the pockets. You'd think that she should be able to clean this up. As long as she doesn't go in off. No, of course she's not going to go in off. She's not going to go in off. She's not. No, she didn't. Good girl.
All right, we've got Annette on the hill, 5-1. We didn't see this coming, did we?
No.
Well, I didn't.
Well, I knew that Annette could do it.
So what's going through Annie's head?
If it were me, I would be giving myself a good little pep talk and reminding myself to go back to basics and You know, focus on the shot, keep your eye on the point that you're aiming at, follow through. Follow through is something I often mess up on.
Yeah, I think we all do.
Yeah.
Except for David Reljic.
No.
He follows through like 3 Q lengths
He's
on everything.
He's a robot, isn't he?
And he's looking at the double. Yeah, that's pretty much on the rail. I'm not sure that's cuttable. She can do the old right-hand spin off the rail though.
Yeah.
That's the other option.
Yeah.
Just miss it completely. You don't have to worry. You can go sit down. Just miss it completely, and then you can go sit down.
It wasn't in off. It wasn't in off, so you can't complain.
I don't think it was. Yeah, see, once again, she's just not, you know, she really needed to be careful. If she had ball in hand, like, you get good position on that 4. Leave yourself the dead straight shot, leave yourself the angle.
Yeah, and now she's, well, 5 could go over here on the side pocket. But I don't, it's not on for this corner, so the other option is the, no, she's going the side. Oh no, she's going safety.
Yeah, I think that was the shot there.
Yeah.
And she's got the full ball snooker, so she's forced Annette into kicking. So how would you kick this? Or what would be going through your mind? Like hit the...
Well, playing off the cushions is really my weakness. I'm not very good at the angles. Never studied the diamond system properly, so I have no idea what I'm doing most of the time. I just have to sit there and try to work out my mirror images, and other people just seem to know them.
Yeah, I didn't do the diamond system either, but to me it's yeah, geometric, I guess. Yeah, I just see it.
You'll see me there with my cube trying to work it out and lining them up. But yeah, sometimes that's just what you got to do. You don't have too many options.
Yeah, I guess because I try so many different variations of shots that kick shots to me aren't really kick shots. That to me they're shots. So I guess I'm used to trying to find a part of a ball off a rail. So when I have to kick, I'm a bit more comfortable because I've already tried to pot it about 5 million times. And I know how to miss it really well and get safe.
I blame the rest there. That's...
Yeah, so
that
for me,
move.
the rest technique is to make sure that the arm holding the rest is not moving, is on the table.
Yeah, you've really got to push down on it to keep it strongly where it is.
Yeah, and for me, it's keep your elbow above your wrist.
Okay.
So that you just pivot on the elbow and don't involve your shoulder, because that's when it all goes to crap. Your shoulder and your wrist. And it's judging the distance to chip your cue, the white, because everyone's a little bit further. There's a bigger gap than they think. So when they go through to give it pace, it's always... and the other thing I do a lot with the rest, and when I play left-handed, is I stun a lot when I think I'm hitting above centre. I'm actually hitting at 2 tips below. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, good safety.
Just freed up the balls. Another important thing to do when you play a safety shot is, you got to look past your opponent's shot to your next shot, really, and try and force them to play that shot. So she's forced the error there, essentially, in my mind. Nettie may not be getting old, but she is suffering from reverse dementia. I have to keep reminding her not to go in off. It was like every match, and then it was every frame. Now it's like every ball. I've got to remind her that going in off's bad.
I think Annie's got this.
Well, she's got a few options off this 9. I think, yeah, she's going to try and run through.
Exactly what she wants to do here.
Yeah, I think the shot is just to play it plain ball and land on the 10 in the bottom left. Yeah. Or you can just screw off it and hold it, but you got to sort of cheat the middle pocket a bit for that shot. Yeah, the least technical ones run through and maybe even run past it. Sometimes what I do if I'm struggling to hold it. Well, no, put it in the top. Yeah, that shot.
Right.
It gives you a little bit more freedom to just play the shot rather than have the accuracy and the holding. Just get rid of the holding and just concentrate on the accuracy.
Yeah, good shot.
Drilled that in. Nice. Very nice finish. So that's a great confidence booster there for Annie. She's going to get a lot out of this, I think, this match, this experience today, because she's experienced, the highs of being the #1 player on the day as far as the draw is concerned. And then having to deal with all this pressure, like she's already had one hill match in a final, which is lost. But, the big thing is being able to come back mentally from a loss and sort of build up your confidence and back yourself to, even though you feel like you feel a little silly, really, don't you? You got 2 chances, you already lost one. So, yeah, you got to dig deep under these circumstances. Let's face it, it's an Australian title in New Zealand, in New South Wales. That she's playing for against a very experienced opponent who's won countless titles. Australian titles, Annette? I know I've seen her at a few Australian titles.
She's certainly done well at Australian titles.
And she's played snooker, she's played 2-shot, like at high level, so... Yeah, so Annie be getting a lot out of this, and Annette, Annette's enjoying herself. She's doing what she loves, and she's playing in the final, and she's already won the final once. So she'd be pretty happy as well. But yeah, it would just be interesting to see if Annie can come back from this.
She's giving herself a little bit of a break at the moment to freshen up. And
is that a Ben Noonan toilet break?
I don't know. It might be, but it has already been a long time on the table, so certainly warrants a bathroom break if that's what she needs. But she seems to still be very relaxed and happy. She doesn't show any sign of the pressure or stress. So, I'm quite impressed with the way that she's been playing.
I think poor Scotty, her boyfriend or husband, I'm not sure which, is probably dealing with the stress. He can't even watch. I tried to get him into the commentary for you, but he's like, there's no way, man, it's too much anxiety. Gotta get out of here. Either that or Annie's told him to get lost. He's stressing out. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's always great to have the support of a partner or a friend at a tournament. it's hard when you're here on your own and, you know, there's no one really going for you and the whole room's going for someone else and you feel like everyone hates you.
I've been there. I have.
Yeah. So yeah, can't stress the importance of having support in anything you do in life, really. And pool's just one of those things. If you're a partner of a pool player and you may not be a pool player yourself, don't forget you still have to support us. Just because you think it's a stupid game doesn't mean that you shouldn't support your loved ones when they're playing it. I'm referring to no one in particular.
I have to admit, my partner Chris has offered to come along and watch these things that I play in, but I've discouraged it.
That's support itself, though.
It is.
It's got to offer the support.
It is. And he's always happy when I text him and tell him that I've won a match, so he's a good man. Annie's just trying to work out how to get to this one ball here, I think. She's elected for the bottom cushion. No. She needed a bit of side on it. Ball in hand to Annette. It's not an easy pattern on this table, though. I mean, the 1 to the 2 was easy enough, but that 3 won't go past the 5, so it will either have to be a combination or she'll have to get around it or move it. Moving it would be good. But she's underneath it, so she could run it up if it goes past the 6, which she's just looking at now. Well, she just took a look to see if it would go up top, and I can't tell from here, but I think she's playing it up top. Yes. Lovely.
Tell you what though, this shot, see where the black is and the 4 is? Yeah. Pretty sure you can, if you put enough pace on that 4 and just clip that black, it's going straight in that corner pocket. That's probably a better idea, but I've been playing those shots a lot. I've been amazed at the angles you can get based on just really tiny clips on balls. Ooh, that was black first. Yeah, and he's called it.
The table's opened up a bit. Decisions to be made, though. Oh, no.
That's not one of the decisions.
I haven't seen a miscue today. That's the first.
Yeah. I haven't done one myself from a walk for a while.
No, I have to say, since I got the Kamui chalk, I'm a big fan. Kamui chalk is great. I never miscue. Really?
Yeah, see, for me, miscuing is always the flaw in the technique. It just means that I'm dropping my back arm and I'm basically scooping at the ball. And I've got a really long cue action, so it's really pronounced when I do it. The ball usually goes up in the air and hits someone. So yeah, that's one thing.
So you make it spectacular, that's what you're saying.
Yeah. But the good thing about my cue action is everything's really pronounced, so when it's on I can create a lot of really good angles, but also when it's off it's really easy for me to define which part of it I'm struggling with.
Annette just played a safety there. I think she can still see the side of the 4 though, so not on to pot, but still on to play safe. If I could see the left side here, I would try and bring the white back to where it is now, behind the 10, and put the 4 over the other side. She went the other way. Both options can work. Oh, I think she's left that one on. Not easy, but it's on. And he's still playing safe.
That'll be safe.
And that's not hesitating. There must be a gap down the middle.
This is not easy by any chance. But she's really got to capitalise on this shot.
Yep.
So I mean, there's actually not a hole. It's pretty hard to go wrong here unless you snook yourself. Oh, that's the way you do it. Oh, I can't believe she found that gap.
She's...
A little bit of swerve on that.
Yeah.
It's actually helped her out with the position.
Yep. She's got quite a bit of angle on this ball, so that white ball is going to run. But she's got a big table to work with there. She's got a choice of the side or the corner. Oh. A little bit closer to the cushion than she'd want to be, but...
I think that's one of those situations where you go up and come back down rather than trying to hold.
Oh, nice.
Unless you can just putt them like that. Yeah, so... I can't see her playing safe. I just see her going for it. And she's a good doubler, so it's a higher percentage than it is for normal people because she actually has studied the whole doubling diamond system.
She just called the corner, so she's either tripling it or cutting it. Show the cut. Big shot.
No.
Oh. They've got us so worried about it.
That's a huge shot. Yeah, so she's actually had to play that with a lot of side to avoid that in off. Is that right?
I'm not sure.
I mean, it was a fine cut, but... Yeah, so she's executed that shot pretty well. And, yeah, so that's 5-3.
They're just crispy coated nuts. Nuts.
What do you mean crispy?
Well, they've got a shell on them on the outside.
Alright, I've got no teeth. I like nuts, but can't eat them. So, yeah, pretty big, it's going to be a big momentum shift out of that, which Annette will be aware of, and Annie will be feeling whether she's aware of it or not. And that momentum obviously would be in Annie's favour. So she's called a push out there and potted the one. Which is a pretty smart shot, really. Tied up the 4 and left Annette nothing. Annette does have the option of sending Annie back in. I think she's just going to try and dolly up to this. Yeah, I think she's trying to hit the other side of the 3 there. Yeah, I think Annie was expecting cushion and then 7-ball there for that snooker. Annette's going to try and push it back through that gap. She's actually played that really well. She needed to get a little bit of that action on that 7 to push it back in front of the white. So that's I've actually learned something there. That's a really nice shot. I would have tried to pick the angle and play with heaps of side and may have ended up in the same position, but the way Annette did it was 10 times easier.
Well, the 3's on, but the 4 is very close to that 6-ball. Did I blink? What happened there? I missed it.
So Annette's strategically missed that 3 on purpose. Did you strategically miss that on purpose?
How did you know?
Yeah.
The 4 was awkward.
Yeah, it's a lot simpler if you can just sit down and let them worry about what's going on. Yeah. Oh, why confuse? Yeah, exactly. Why confuse everything? Just wait for him to go in off. All right, so Annie's got ball in hand. She's obviously going to have to look at either going for a snooker or getting an extraction. Yeah, I like just sliding down off the 3 and cascading into the 4. So she has gone for the snooker option. That's a really, really good snooker shot, man. Like, she's kicked a few goals there. She would have liked to have moved that 4 a little bit more, but that is one nasty snooker.
I don't want to play that shot.
And anything that Annette does, really, she's obviously going to be trying to concentrate on making contact with the 3, but she doesn't want to disturb that 4 and the 6-ball at this point. She needs to leave all that nastiness there.
If she doesn't move anything and Annie has ball in hand, Annie can play that 3 and kick into the other 2. So.
I mean, the 4 does go to the bottom right-hand corner, and yeah, I guess if you had ball in hand, you could play a shot pretty easily, just run through on the 3 and get on the 4. The 5's right there as well, so you don't have to do much. And the 6 is there, so that's a really good shot there by Annie. Smart. It's a smart billiard play. So it'll be interesting to see if Annie goes for the 3 foul. So she's told Annette she's just had 2 fouls in a row. And this is a time when you have to play this.
Yeah, I think she's doing it. Yeah, she is. Now this is a bit easier to get out of the snooker.
Yeah, I was going to say, when you play these shots, try not to leave them in corners of tables or places where people are very used to doubling to and from. You got to leave it in the middle of the table, preferably near another ball, and make sure that you get the white in there to cut off at least 3 angles. All right. Okay, so that's paid off for Annie, and you know she played some really good shots there to put Annette in that situation. So, and Annette really, she probably missed that 3 by about a ball. Yeah, and getting 3 snookers from Annette is difficult. I mean, she's a good snooker player, so. So Annette's, we've been talking a lot about Annie and how she's got to deal with the situation and come back, but you know, as we said, the momentum has shifted a bit, and so it's about time we started talking about Annette and what she needs to do to make sure that she can win this next frame, because she's been on the hill for 4 frames.
Yeah, 4 frames. Wow.
So I know she was 5-1 up. Yes, she's been on the hill for 3 frames. So that's going to get that. It just gnaws at you a bit. Gets a bit annoying, and you just want to finish it. Just want it to be over.
Yes. I think I can read a little bit of that in her expression at the moment, actually.
Yeah, I was going to mention that.
Sorry,
She looks
a little-
very determined.
Very. But she's still laughing.
It's good to see everyone's still got a big smile on their face. Annie taking a big, deep breath there. She knows that she's nowhere near out of the woods. She's gone. I mean, she's got to at least win two more frames. But not only does she have to take this a frame at a time, she's got to take this ball at a time and just really concentrate and focus. And that's the winner of this match will be the one who can do those things. Just maintain that concentration and deal with the pressure and the excitement. Because it's not just the pressure of losing or winning, it's the excitement of being in the final. And yeah, there's a bit of noise here. There's a few things that can put you off. So yeah, concentration at the end of a long day. I mean, the ladies have been here for 9 hours. And shots that you normally wouldn't miss, you just miss. And position, you start missing position by just a centimetre.
Interesting to see if Annie tries for another snooker here, or if she's...
She's definitely going for another one.
Yeah, she's just won a frame with the 3 fouls, and I think she thinks that she could do it again.
I don't think you get a net twice, though. Once the baby finds out where the choc chip cookies are, you got to re-hide them. There's no point in leaving them there. You got to think of something else. You can get a bit of swervy pants pretty easily.
And that should take her time here and make sure that...
But the important thing that what Annie blocked off there was the up and down shot, because you've got to cue over the 4. It's in the middle of the table. Yeah, I didn't think Annette was going to miss that. You know what kept that out? She's got a jaw snooker. It's all that side on that.
You thought that was going down.
So Annette's jagged a jaw snooker like this after Annie played a pretty good safety shot. I mean, she could have been a little bit further over. Oh, okay, she didn't quite get the jaw snooker. Yeah, I don't think Annie thought that shot was on, because she definitely would have called that if she thought she could pot it. Yeah, we all thought she was jaw snookered. We weren't quite in line with it.
Doubling that one out of there sort of opened up that corner. It was looking a bit crowded.
Annette's decided to just pot 2 balls at a time from now on. She's going out. The only real issue here is the place you want to be for this 4 is right where that middle pocket is. So I think she has to, stun it a bit more. Yeah, I probably would have just stunned that down and left myself a tiny bit of angle on the 4. But she's got the option of putting the 4 into the 5 here.
Yeah, if that 5's not too hard up against that corner where it won't drop.
She's got to hit like a quarter of the 5. She hits half of it, it's not going to drop.
Not so easy when you're playing a combination. Oh, did she call that? Oh no.
Oh, in off.
How many have we had this match? This day?
They've been so defining the in-offs, though. Not just, here and there. They're like just at crucial times in the matches.
Yeah, I don't mind saying that my match earlier against Joey, she gave me quite a few frames with in-offs and missing the 10.
Poor Joey, if you're out there, we all hope you're feeling better than you were today. You didn't look that... I mean, you look fantastic. but just less fantastic than normal. And so you're obviously not feeling too good. So we hope that improves for you. If not today, then over the next couple of days. Yeah, being sick's a bummer.
They're a 3-day thing, most of these colds that go around.
Yeah, I think she tried to hold for the middle pocket there, but yeah, really the shot was to come around with just a little bit of right-hand side and put the 9 back in the pocket. You just potted your last ball in. Just always try and think about getting your white ball back out in the middle of the table, because it's the place, unless something's on the cushion in the middle of the cushion, that's the only time the middle of the table is not going to work for you, but most times it's where you want to be. Yeah, she's looking at that double. It's really going to give her a really bad position on the 10 though.
No, if she misses it, it could leave it open a bit, unless she's playing this. Yeah, that's left it pretty open.
Yeah.
It's the wrong side of the 9 ball.
Yeah, I probably would have been inclined to put the 9 maybe underneath the 10 and the white, just give it distance and try and get the snooker. Not sure I would have gone for the double.
Oh, made it look easy.
And it slotted that in. And it's going to pump this in for a 6-4 win.
And for the match. And the title.
And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Flo, I'd just like to thank you for commentating today. It was the most enjoyable. We hope to see you again for, well, we hope you're in the final, so we hope to not see you again.
Thanks, Kimmo. I've really enjoyed it, and thank you for always being here and filming for us. We really, really appreciate it.
No one appreciates it. Yeah, thank you very much for your kind words. Thank you to all the players that came out today. It was a wonderful day. There's been like, what, 9 hours of pool. Annette has vanquished all, coming from the loser's side and beating Annie Kim twice in the final. Annie having come through the winner's side undefeated. It seemed insurmountable a couple of hours ago, and here we are. We're looking at a champion. How do you feel, Annette?
Well, I thought about the words that you said about having more faith in myself.
You didn't remember a word I said.
Well, maybe. Maybe it was Fleur, I don't know. Maybe it was Jing. But, yeah, I dug deep and it wasn't pretty, but, yeah, I dug deep and...
It was pretty.
Yeah, like a cockroach, I could not be killed.
Yeah, anything you'd like to say to your opponent, because she's going to watch this match in the next week. She won't be devastated. She actually did really well. But yeah, if there's anything you'd like to say to her, obviously you're the more experienced pool player, Annie's just starting out. Anything you could say to her, really, that as far as defining this match, that she could take away so that she can beat you next time?
She done extremely well today. She's been potting like really, really well, and upcoming player, like one to watch for in the future. She will win these. So yeah, just finishing off. She didn't, like myself, I didn't finish off some and she didn't finish off some. So, but you know, that might be nerves, but that'll all come with time. Like, she's got a bright future. So yeah, it was a privilege to play her.
I think there'll be many more finals with you guys playing them. Thank you very much, and congratulations. That was a pleasure. Okay, so from here at City Heroes and from QSM, Fleur and myself, Kimmo, on behalf of Pool New South Wales, this is the conclusion of the Ladies 2017 Pool New South Wales Australian 10-Ball Championship. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you soon. Good night.